I don't see why not. So I don't have a topic for this one.
So,
welcome to Bite Size Bickering. I'm Gabe.
I'm Jack.
And I'm Vanessa.
This
And
is
Vanessa-
going to be Jack and Vanessa's couples counseling episode, where we discuss.
So tell me guys. What is what's wrong? What's this conversation start? Because literally it was just between recordings. Jack said Vanessa has an idea, and Vanessa said, "Whoa!"
No, I'm joking. It's a very amicable.
I feel like it's
Confusion.
well. I think it's just one of those things that people like do, but they don't really understand why they do it.
So
And I get
what is
that
it?
because-
What is the thing for
Oh,
the people listening? Because we
Yeah,
making
so
the bed.
Why do you or do you not make the bed?
I don't. I sleep in that corner that you're looking at right there, and then
For those
occasionally I sleep on the
listening,
bed.
there is a pile of pillows and blankets over in the corner of the room that Gabe sleeps in like a rat.
Yeah, I like to nest.
Word.
Okay, I
Nothing
lay
wrong
my
with that.
eggs. It's
I
fine.
I just called you a rat, but you know, I like rats. Rats are cool.
Rats are cool. Rats are cool. Our friend Natalie was supposed to join us, and I call her Nat Pack because it sounds like Rat Pack. Because Rat Pack is one of my favorite things to say.
I, for the longest time, and up until just 30 seconds ago, thought you called her Nat Pat. Like, and yeah, cool. I, never picked up that it was Nat Pack. Which, makes equally little sense.
Wait.
Anyways, making the
Making the bed.
Do you make your bed?
Huh?
No, he
No.
sleeps
Like,
in the rat.
occasionally.
Do you really
Occasionally.
sleep? No.
Huh? It's like something. No, I literally sleep there a lot, or I have been sleeping there a lot, just because like I'll be here on my computer, and then I'm too lazy to go to my bed because it's down the hall. And like I'm like it'll be like 10 o'clock at night. I'll have to get up at like 5 in the morning for something, and so I'll be like, I don't want to move that far, so I just
Fair.
clock out, and then I'm done. So I attempt to make my bed every once in a while. Most of the time I don't, because I like to sleep on the floor more than I like to sleep on a bed. I don't know why.
Maybe
Why?
that's why you're so good at camping.
Maybe I'm not good at camping. I just camp anyway. But I don't know. I like to sleep on the floor a lot. And so like sometimes I'll just put shit on my bed and essentially use it as like a shelf. Just cuz like this place doesn't like it's new, so it doesn't have a location yet. And so I'll just put it there.
I think that's really interesting. I don't know many people who prefer to sleep on the floor over a bed.
I know a couple of them, but yeah.
Well, I think. Well, like I'm not a very cleanly person. Like Jack's like, no, really,
Really?
I didn't
Rat's nest
know.
over in the corner.
That actually isn't my fault. That is my father's fault. But so there's a mess of some sorts usually always around me. And so my bed, which is going to be really interesting living in the dorms, which I don't have a roommate assigned to me yet, which isn't surprising.
From what I've heard,
Sometimes they never get assigned.
yeah.
Yeah,
Especially
I don't-
U of M.
I don't think it's going to happen too, because I'm in like a double room by myself still,
Word.
and it's been a week.
That's great.
And so I'm like, all right,
Don't say anything.
I'm really fine with this. I'm not going to make a phone call.
I feel like that's the best of both worlds. Like, in dorms, but not with someone in dorms. You get, like, the dorm experience. You can open your door and just, like, hang out with whoever wanders by. But there's not someone who has the key to your room.
It's interesting, because, like, by the time I really start school, I'll be 22 when I start, but I'll be 23. Because, like, in a week from school starting, I'll turn 23.
Yep.
And so, I've never lived in a dorm. Like, in any way. Like, I guess the only time I've technically lived in a dorm is I had, like, dormitory-like things for, like, a youth group field trip once. And it was, like, we lived in, like, a dorm-like situation where I had a roommate and that's how we spent like 3 or 4 days, right? And so that's the closest I've ever gotten to like being in a dorm. Other than that, I've like shared hotel rooms with people and whatnot. So like I don't have a problem sharing a space with people. I don't know what I'm like sharing a space with a person like over extended period of time. I haven't done that since I was 9 years old.
Wow.
And well, because I used to live in a smaller house, and there were 6 of us, and so my brothers and I all shared a room, and we had a bunk bed where like the larger bed was on the bottom, where it was essentially like a queen size on the bottom for my 2 brothers who were twins, and then I was on the top, and part of the reason like I don't have bunk bed anymore is like when I was 9, like I started having a habit of rolling in my sleep. So there's one time I fell down, bounced off the bunk bed, and landed on the floor.
That's why
you
Jonah
like
is so
sleeping on the
weird.
floor.
Maybe that's why you like sleeping on the floor.
Yeah, maybe just because it's close to the ground.
So I had an interestingly opposite experience because I shared a room with my brother until I left for college. Spent,
Really?
Yep.
That long?
Mm-hmm. We shared a bedroom until I left for college. Had 2 semesters with a roommate, and then moved back in. That next year, I rented a place with a friend of mine, but I spent most of my time.
Well, because the backyards were connected.
Yeah, the neighbor's house. And so I spent most of my time.
I remember that. That was the first place I ever got drunk. Jack's a bad influence is what we're learning.
This seems to surprise a surprising number of people, and I don't really know why.
It's just most of my conversations with you are about like I have a lot of interesting conversations with you, and a lot of them are about like health things, like why you choose to like be healthy in this way or this way, and like one thing is like a lot of people. One time you told me you were like, my greatest fear in life is addiction.
Sure.
And so I don't know if that's your greatest fear now or whatever, but
it's certainly up there. I don't know if it's number 1, but yeah.
But you said my greatest fear in life is addiction, and so alcohol is typically like a very addictive substance for a lot of people. So like,
we should do an episode on addiction.
We should totally do that. Totally do an episode on addiction. I didn't start a fucking timer again.
Cool. This episode is on addiction.
So like we can literally talk about addiction, whatever we want this episode. I still think we should have like a dedicated like 15 minutes to it.
I think that would be a good idea. We don't have to.
So that's why. So that's why I'm surprised that like you're like as party like not I'd say heavy, but as party like supportive as you are.
Yeah, I mean, so like my experience with drugs and addiction, right? Like I went to college. I had drank before but never gotten drunk. I spent my first semester drinking and partying and having a great time, and then my second semester getting stoned a lot, and it was really fun at first and got less fun as time went on, right? And less supportive to the rest of my life, and it became more of the centerpiece of my reality and less of something I did for fun. And alcohol has never become a problem in my life, so I can go hard occasionally and wake up with a headache. And like even me going hard is not that hard, right? I've never passed out, I've never blacked out, I've never thrown up.
I've done 2 of those 3 things.
I have
Yet I still
vomited,
party
and then
less
I will fall asleep. Like when I'm drunk, I will pass out somewhere, and I'll wake up, and I'll just do that periodically. And so like, drunk story is the last time I got like really, really fucking drunk was, I went to see Deadpool 2 with my buddy, with Arlen, who has been on the podcast before, and, our friend Mariah, my friend Allison, decided to tag along as well as like Arlen's brother Ben and Liam. And so all of us we went to go see Deadpool 2, and I had like a mildly stressful week.
Sure.
So I was just like, let's have a couple drinks before we go. Couple became 8 things of like hard liquor, because it was like
8 things. Do you mean shots or handles? Because
handles. It was not
You
shots.
soloed 8 handles of liquor before seeing a movie. I'm impressed already. Go on.
Anyway, well, because, like, it's funny because every time I drink like that, no one pays attention to how much I drink. They think I have, like, 2 drinks, and they're like, oh, Gabe's out. What a lightweight. I had 8 things of, like, moonshine, rum, whiskey, vodka, and, like, besides those 8 things, I also had, like, beer.
Word.
And so, like, the 8 drinks was not the only thing I had that night. So by the time, like, the movie came around, I was gone. So I remember, like,
Oh, you told this story.
yeah, I've told you this story before, I'm pretty sure. But, like, so before I was pretty drunk, like, in the car, like I was just sitting in the car while, like, Liam was driving, because Liam never drinks, so he's, like, always the designated driver. And I was with Liam and our friend Allison, and, like, Allison was a little drunk. I was beyond gone. And so we went to Smith's and to get some food, because, like, I didn't want to buy, like, movie snacks. And
Word.
so I went and I bought a sandwich. And I think I bought other people's food too. I don't know if they were people I know. I'm gonna be honest. And then while we were there, my friend Allison also bought more beer. That, like, I may or may not have snuck one into the theater and, like, pounded that back. So that was the moment I was like, that's it, I'm gone. Like, I'm done. And so, like, we saw Deadpool 2, and so, spoiler alert for people who saw Deadpool 2, though not much of a spoiler alert, is because this is, I fell asleep, I passed out and woke up periodically throughout the movie. And so, like, I saw a completely different movie to what everyone else saw. I saw the intro, and I saw his girlfriend die. And then I passed out, I woke up, and there were a bunch of people dive bombing out of a plane and dying, and Brad Pitt was amongst them. And then, as well as I did not fix the fucking timer problem anyway.
We started at, like, we've got another 3 minutes.
Okay, sure. And then I had a bunch of, and then I fell asleep as, like, bunch of these people were dying. And then I woke up and he was getting ripped in half by Juggernaut, who also Juggernaut was in the movie. And so
Hey, that's Juggernaut.
I passed out again. Woke up, he had baby legs and was shaking hands with Cable. Passed out, woke up, he was hugging Cable. I think I also saw him kill the Deadpool from the Wolverine Origins movie. I'm pretty sure that was a joke scene in there. I don't know for sure.
Or some just dreaming delusion.
Yeah,
of,
exactly.
Like, I'm watching Deadpool. Ooh, there's the other Deadpool. Are you really Deadpool? No, you're dead.
And then the movie was over, so, like, my friend Mariah wakes me up because I've been sleeping on her the whole movie. And so, like, she wakes me up. She's just like, okay, it's time to leave. It's time to leave now. We're going. And so we walk out. I stumble out of the theater, and I was just like, excuse me, I need to go. I go vomit violently, like, in the bathroom. And I come back, and people, like, my friend Allison, who's also a little drunk, looks at me, and she's just like, you don't smell too great. And I'm just like, that's because I threw up. Duh. And that was the last time I got, like, super drunk.
Word.
Super drunk. I think the last time I vomited before that, though, was, like, might have been, like, my 22nd birthday. Because I did a play that night. And then afterwards, like, I was so tired and so stressed. Oh, my God. I was just the lights just flickered, so I was just like, just watch as the recording stopped.
I think we're about out of time anyway.
But yeah, I did a play, and I was just like, okay, I'm gonna get fucked up because I was stressed. Anyway,
Word. Yeah, we've all been there.
On to this wasn't really a topic, but
This was Gabe and Jack be bad influences while we attempt to talk about making a bed.
that was the topic. Okay, on to the next one.